There are bullish characters formed for the past month for quite a number of the Malaysia tech stocks. So let's dive in to find out the telltale signs and also potential trading opportunities for these four leadership stocks. All right, so let's get started now. The first stock is UWC. So let me zoom out a little bit here so that you can see how this previous leadership has formed. So you can see that this is pretty much a copy sell-off last year in March. So after the sell-off, UWC has been in a very impressive uptrend channel for quite many months, since March all the way to about November, December. And in the end of last year, there is a parabolic and climatic run up before it actually collapsed. So subsequently, this parabolic run up cannot really sustain itself, and we have this sell off right after it actually break down from this localized structure. And you can see that there's a ton of the supply come in, and eventually just wipe out majority of the gain that we had last year in December. Oh, sorry, this is not December. This is actually January. All right. Um, this actually sets up the trading range condition for UWC. So you can see that it's pretty much in the range bound condition for quite a number of months since the sell-off in this year March until now. So in the past month, there is something interesting developing. So let me zoom in and analyze a little bit. So right after this selling climax, we have seen that supply is increasing, supply spike as well, followed by another test of the resistance. It cannot really overcome the resistance and eventually go back and test the support, swing low support. So you can see that, let me zoom in a little bit here, there is kind of aggressive volume increase of the volume right at the bottom of the part, and followed by some buying on the way up as well. So look at this bullish momentum bar. So we haven't seen this kind of the bullish momentum bar within this trading range for quite some time, at least for a number of months. So this is quite an important sign that says something has been changing. So this is the first bullish sign that we have, and it comes with increase of the volume, suggesting that there's aggressive demand to push the price up. So what's the reaction subsequently? So the reaction is kind of a shallow type of the trading range right here. So right after this, we have seen supply has been decreasing, especially on the second leg down. And on the third leg down, despite there is a bit of the increase of the supply, look at what's the results. The results is actually a higher low if we compare to the previous low right here. So at the moment is attempting to break out of the immediate resistance level, where I use this downtrend line or the slope, so about 550. So if you can just break above this down sloping line, then I think there is a chance for UWC to at least test the previous resistance level or area at about 6.3 or 6.25. So let's just monitor and see if we can just break out from this slight downsloping line and also have some kind of the momentum to move up. So in terms of the supply, we definitely see that there is a very low supply level at the moment. So it's quite interesting to see if you can just break out with definitely ease of movement to the upside, which means that not exceptionally high volume, maybe some kind of the increase of the volume then higher than the previous up move, then I think you should be able to give it some momentum and travel to the upside. All right, so this is UWC. By the way, if you enjoy my video so far, I appreciate you can just like the YouTube video and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that would means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And back to the video. Okay, next stock is GREATEC. Okay, so GREATEC is another famous name. So I think it's very similar to UWC, has been performed exceptionally well. So since the COVID sell-off last year March, we have seen GREATEC has been on a up channel for quite some time until it hit the channel overbought right there. So this is a channel overbought that's, I think, in line with some kind of the spike of the supply. Let me zoom in a bit here. So definitely a bit of the climatic up move with the increasing of the supply, and subsequently it just sort of dies down with the bullish momentum and eventually break off the localized support and go back down to test the previous resistance, now turn the support level. Okay, pretty textbook style, nothing unusual. And let me zoom in and focus on this range. So there is a few things that stands out within this trading range. First of all, definitely a spike of the volume. I think that's the breakdown bar, and also that's the gap down bar as well. Subsequently followed by these two up bar, which is the hammer, and also this bullish bar. So quite a lot of the transaction happen within this area, I would say. So that is a high volume. Another thing is probably we have seen this breakdown and also some kind of the accumulation. So there's quite a number of occasions we see some value buying. So that means that it's only when the price fall to a certain value and there attract some buyers to come in to support the price. And I just define this as the value zone. So you can see I just mark this as the value zone. So pretty much that just below probably the green line here, you can see this pretty much the value zone, but we seldom see there is aggressive buying on the way up. And another thing is this spike of the supply is probably the highest among across this level here, but certainly I don't really see a lot of the downside results. In fact, what we have here is a bit of the demand tail forming a higher low. It did not really go all the way back down to test the support level again. It's sort of just tested the axis line. So this is where the previous support and resistance turn support. So quite a lot of the interaction at this line, and we also attract some value buying or the bargain hunting right here. So quite a lot of the demand come in that actually stop the price from moving down. So which also give us a confidence where we define the value zone. So right now, I still do not see aggressive demand, but since that supply wasn't impressive or wasn't able to push a price down, so I think there's a chance for GREATEC to moving up. So definitely that is attempt to move up and hit the intermediate resistance level at about 5.75. So there is some supply absorption on this bar, and we just need to see whether it can overcome the immediate resistance level at about 5.8. So this is the level that first we need to overcome. Then I think GREATEC has a chance to test the previous swing high level at about 6.4 to 6.5. So just watch out for some kind of maybe supply absorption process, and followed by breaking out to the upside and test the resistance level at about 6.4. Okay, so this is GREATEC. So next stock is UNISEM. Okay, so UNISEM is also another leadership stock. So you can see that last year, March, that's during the COVID sell-off, not much happening right there if we compare to the volume, the markup volume to the upside. So indeed, there is little selling right there, or you can say the liquidity is very low. Indeed, I think that's the case. So it actually formed quite a nice accumulation range. So previously, so let me just focus on this uptrend alone. So we see quite a lot of the aggressive demand come in, and that suggests there's a buying on the way up, another buying on the way up, some buying right there. So during this accumulation or reaccumulation area, and also look at all this active volume to push the price up. So there's quite a lot of the urgency to buy UNISEM on the way up. until it actually hits the peak at about 9. And there is a sort of a parabolic run up, very similar to the other stocks. So, or you can see there's a bit of the shortening of the thrust to the upside, especially during this last move up, and subsequently have one test, second test, third test right there. So eventually we see that supply is picking up and unable to overcome or commit above the resistance level at 9, and followed by a breakdown below the localized support area, and eventually sort of settle itself within the trading range. So far it's still within the trading range between 7 to 9. And let me zoom in and focus on the price action. So let's see, this is the first sell down that comes with spike of the supply volume, and subsequently we definitely see very lack of demand, or the very poor quality of the demand, because despite that, we see some attempt to push up, but it just could not overcome the access line right there. So you can see that this is the access line previously as a support. Once it has broken, it become the resistance, and attempt to rally up with increasing effort, but actually some failure to commit above, suggesting there's still presence of supply. So subsequently, we do see some reaction down, but look at this gradual grinding down type of the reaction. So unlike this impulsive type, this is by nature itself is probably a bullish intent or the bullish character. And in fact, there is some form of the value buy at the bottom. So we can see that there is a spike of the volume right there, but it just couldn't overcome or just have followed through to the downside. So this is acted as a spring. So just a temporary commitment below, followed by a quick recovery up. So there is a test right here, and followed by another successful test comes with the decreasing of the supply. So again, let me zoom in and focus on the action for the probably past 3 weeks to a month. Again, this is definitely some form of the aggressive demand come in, and also value buying. Subsequently, we definitely do see that there is very little supply right there. So in fact, supply is so low that it just have a breakout on last Friday. So this is a tiny little structure, and sort of just a breakout here. And I think that it probably can carry up the momentum to test the previous access line at about 8.5. So this is the immediate target price at about 8.5. If we can just overcome the level, I think there is certainly a chance to test the next level of the resistance at about 9. All right, so this is UNISEM. I think it's started to gaining some momentum. So let's see what happened next. All right, so this is the last stock, MPI. Okay, by far, I'm not sure whether this is the most expensive stock in Malaysia. Well, probably not. We still have Nestle. Anyway, we seldom see the stocks that's about 40 ringgit. So this is certainly expensive stocks. And let me zoom out a bit so that you can see the context. So again, we have a great structure before. So this is a great accumulation structure. So the whole chunk right there. So this is the closest build. And after that, we have a breakout, pullback, and continuation to the upside, and an intermediate reaccumulation structure, and pretty much a parabolic run up. So this is a MPI, and we definitely see quite a lot of the demand coming, the urgency to push a price up. Once they miss the boat, so they just need to get in and push the price up. And subsequently, there is definitely this rejection, followed by another reaction here. So all comes with the spike of the supply. So that essentially just set the tone for the trading range. Okay, so this is the trading range that we're looking at. So far, it's still bouncing up and down within the trading range, but we definitely see there is some form of interesting development happening for the past few weeks. So let me just draw this. Okay, so you can see that so far, right after it actually tested the previous swing low and actually formed a higher low. So this is the higher low, that's the low. Subsequently, we definitely see some form of the momentum kick in and followed by a very low supply level pullback. And in fact, look at the pullback. It's sort of just tested halfway of this bullish momentum bar. And right now it's still carry another leg up and it's testing the resistance zone at the moment right here. So this is a previous swing high and the supply zone. So if you can overcome this, then definitely there's a chance for the previous time high level at about 42 or 43. So this is MPI. I think is looking very bullish. So supply has been kept in strong hand at the moment. So we can definitely tell right after this parabolic run up. So look at how generally shallow this pullback is. Okay, so this is MPI. And yeah, that's the last stop. Okay, UWC. All right. So thanks for watching. And if you'd like to learn more and find out other great trading opportunities, definitely check out the video that's shown on the screen right now. And do remember to subscribe to my newly formed Telegram group for ad hoc market update and also interact with me. And also can ask me some kind of the questions, or you can just join in my email watch list update and links in the description below. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon.